Welcome to Cavaletto Studios. I'm Chris. In today's foam roller class, you will experience a different way to get into those tight areas. Join me to change up your rolling routine to experience better mobility and a sense of awareness. So let's get started. Okay, so we're going to turn our roller longwise across the mat, and we're going to start on our upper back. So everything's going to be very different today, a different way to roll as we lean back onto our upper back. And we're going to have our hips on the floor, feet flat, knees bent, and then we're going to bring our fingertips behind the ears. So we don't want to interlace the fingers because then we tend to crank our head forward. So just behind the ears so we can support our neck. And you're just going to cruise on backwards like your body is curving around the roller. And just find a comfortable position. So if you start to come back and you feel like you can't breathe, you might be too low on those shoulder blades. So what you might want to do is move a little higher. Maybe you're so high up that you can't move at all. So find that middle comfortable point. Good. And just breathe here for a moment. Now you're going to take your left leg and I want you to extend it straight out on your mat. And just let it rest there. And just breathe. Good. Now take your left leg, pull your belly in tight, and I want you to lift it off the floor. So you might find your core starting to work a little. Leaning into that roller and then lower that leg all the way back down. Good. Now you're going to lift it again. See if you can push into your right foot and maybe lift your hips off the floor. And feel your body resting on the roller and then lower the legs and the hip. And then I want you to keep the leg down and just lift the hips. Feel that body stretching out and then lower those hips down. Flex that left foot and then reach your left arm way over your head. So feel that whole body stretch and then lift your hips off the floor again, pushing through your right foot. Option to lift your left leg off the floor. And just feel that stretch and then lower the foot, lower the hips, and then bring the arm behind the head. And then go ahead and bend your left foot. Place the foot flat on the floor again. Let's try the right side. So extend the right leg out. Feel the body curving over the back of the roller. Good. Lift the leg up. Notice the difference. Is it easier or more challenging on this side? What's going on in those obliques, those core muscles? Keep the neck long and supported. Lower the leg down. Good. Let's lift it again. This time, try to press through your left leg and lift your hip off the floor. And breathe, and then slowly lower the foot, lower the hip. Let's try it again. This time you're going to lift the leg, and then lower, and then extend the right arm overhead. Really feel that whole body stretching. Push your hip off the floor. Arm is overhead and lift the right leg and breathe. And then lower the foot, lower the hip, and bring the hand behind the head. Good. Go ahead and bend your right knee. Place both feet flat on the floor. Lift your hips now and roll. Tuck your chin slightly. Pull your head in just a little more. Bring your elbows in closer and roll the upper back. And breathe. Couple more rolls. And then you're going to go back to where you started, middle of the shoulder blades, and lower the hips back to the floor. Good. Now I want you to reach both arms over your head, cross your arms at the wrists, and try to tuck your biceps into your head so your head is completely supported by your arms. And now you're going to lift your hips, and I want you to roll side to side across those shoulder blades. Now, if that's too challenging, keep your hips on the floor and just roll side to side. So there's a variation there. So just rolling side to side with the hips down or up, going just into those shoulder blades. So really going to get deep into those upper back trigger points today. A couple more on each side. And just roll it side to side. Again, if it's too much, you can keep those hips on the floor. One more each side. And then when you come back to center, we're going to lower those hips. Good. And then hold the head again with the arms. So you relax that, the neck, no pressure on it. Now we're going to move a little deeper into those shoulder blades. So what I want you to do is drop into your left hip and roll onto the left side. And I'm going to adjust the roller so it's right behind my shoulder, and I want you to bring your elbow right on top of that roller. So your tricep, your elbow, the whole arm is on there. Then you're going to take your arm on top, your right arm, and I want you to hold on, wrap it underneath your head, so you're touching your ear, and you're just holding onto the head so it doesn't hurt your neck. Good. And then from here, you can straighten out your arm to the left arm, and then roll your chest towards, and your chin towards your left arm, towards the roller. And then you're going to roll off. You can even bend the elbow, roll towards your upper back, and then back into that elbow. And you can keep the arm bent, or you can straighten it. Try both ways. Maybe you straighten it and roll away, and then when you roll back into it, you bend it. It's going to get a different feeling depending on which way you bend or straighten your arm. So continue to roll the body to the left, right into that tricep and the back of that shoulder blade, and then roll away. And again, maybe try the arm straight both times. And you can really change it up. You can bend it as you roll in and out. And you can keep it straight. So maybe you got some trigger points behind that shoulder. If you've had any shoulder issues, we've got about 3 more times. So just again, play around with it. You can even move the arm. Like you can bend the arm and rotate it. You can keep it straight and rotate through the wrist. Lots of options here. Find a trigger point. Maybe you move the arm as you rotate it across that roller. Kind of have fun with it, play with it, see what's going on in that shoulder, right behind that armpit area. One more roll. Good. And then when you're done, you're going to come all the way back onto those shoulder blades. Place your right elbow on the roller, but stay on your backside, and just reach your left arm across to the right side. You can even grab the wrist and pull, or you can hold on to the head if it's too much on that neck. Stretch it out. And then reach both arms way overhead, pivot onto the shoulder blades, and gently pull that left arm over your head, but slightly to your right. And then release. Now you're going to go on the other side. So I want you to shift onto your right hip. So I don't turn my back to you, I'm going to flip around. So let's go on to the right. I save the right for last because a lot of times you might have trigger points. So we're getting right in there. So you're going to lay on your right hip, place your right shoulder and your elbow right on top of that roller. So it's not hanging over the back like this or over the front. It's right on top. Bring your left arm over top. Hold on to the head so your neck doesn't get tired. Roll your chest or body to chin, everything towards the roller, and then roll away onto that back shoulder blade, and then back into the roller with the chin, and then away. And the elbow can be bent. Maybe you try straightening it, and then rolling away and in. How's that feeling? Anybody finding some trigger spots in there? Maybe you bend and then straighten as you roll. Again, try different ways because we're always moving our arms in different directions as we go. Maybe you keep it straight and then you bend it as you come up. Maybe you keep it bent and you rotate towards the roller and then move the arm up and down. Again, depending on what feels okay to you, and it helps get those trigger points out. So continue to roll. We have a few more. If it gets too intense, take a break. Almost there. Give me 2 more. Rolling on and off. 1 more. And off. And then we're coming back onto the upper back onto your hips. Reach your left arm towards the left side of the roller. Reach your right arm across. Stretch it out. Then maybe grab hold of your right wrist to pull it a little further to the left side of your body. And then we're going to reach it overhead with a slight tilt to your left. And then bring both hands, see if you can crisscross them even better, even more behind your head. And then lift the the lower body and roll those shoulder blades up and down. So we don't go very far this time. We're just rolling. It's going to feel a little different. If you need to lean to one side more or the other side, just noticing the difference in those shoulder blades. And then we're going to lower the hips all the way back down. So we're going backwards today. We're going to do different things, like I said. Go all the way onto your hips, and then bring that roller underneath your head like a pillow, and walk those shoulders away. So let's just we worked a lot up here, so it all connects up into the neck, and it can affect our head and making sure we don't get any headaches. So now what you do is focus on the side of the neck. Now we're going to turn your head to the right, because we just worked on that right side. So let's just go right there. And when you go back, if you're not sure, you can reach your hand and find that meaty part of the neck. So your head is about a 45-degree angle to the right. You're not touching your ear, but it's towards the roller. But you're not in the very back, and you're not all the way on the side. Okay, so I just want to clarify that you're getting that spot right. It's kind of behind the ear and below it. And then just a nod yes. And then a nod no. So you want to and maybe little circles right on that spot. And make adjustments, move that roller to where it feels good. And then take your chin, draw it gently down towards the right side of your chest. And breathe and smile. We're just kind of hanging out here. Your arms can be next to you, on your belly, wherever you want. And then turn your head to the left. Let's try that spot on the left side. Again, find that meaty spot. It's not all the way to the side. It's not in the middle, about 45 degrees. And then just do a little nod. So we're finding the muscle tissue right in that back of the neck there. Nod yes, nod no, maybe a little circles. Tilt that chin a little further to the chest. Excellent. Then bring your head to neutral. I want you to roll the roller a little bit higher, turn the head back to the right. Find your occipital bone. So bring that roller right behind the ear and do a little nod. Yes and no. This is a great way to help get rid of the stress that we hold up here in the shoulders and the neck. Finding those spots. If you need to go a little higher up behind the ear, go for it. With a big nod, yes, you can just make the head move a lot more in your range of motion. And then slowly let's move our head to the other side. Again, it's behind the ear, a little nod. You're getting into that occipital bone where everything attaches. If you see a massage therapist, a lot of times they'll get up in there. If this is painful, then maybe you need to call your massage therapist and say, I need my muscles of the neck worked on. They're a little tight. Nod again, yes and no. Maybe a bigger nod yes if you need to go higher up into the head. There's fascia tissue through our head, all the way through there, through that skull. And then we're going to bring the head back to neutral. Keep it up a little bit higher, making sure the vertebrae are not on the roller. If you feel like it's going to roll out, you can hold the back of the roller and just let that chin slightly tilt forward so you can feel the stretch. Think about moving those shoulders away from the ears. And you can even rock your head gently side to side. A little extra stretch there. Good. And then release the arms next to the body. And we're going to roll to one side. And go ahead and come all the way up. Sit all the way nice and tall, knees bent, feet flat. Slide the hands under the knees. Let's do a little stretch for that area. So you're either interlacing the fingers or you can make two fists and then just sit up nice and tall. You can even walk your feet forward. This is one of my favorite stretches. If you're feel like you have a tight neck or you've been on the computer a lot, you can always do this stretch. So it's really pulling and lengthening through the neck. And just breathe here. Tuck your chin into alignment. Try not to let it go up too high. And then gently turn your head to the right. Give me a big smile. And then we'll try the left. Turn your head to the left. And then back to center. And then release. Good. Couple shoulder rolls. Hopefully things are a little bit looser now. We're going to interlace those fingers. I'm going to turn so you can face. And then press them forward and draw the chin to the chest as the arms pull forward. It's a nice back stretch. So it's always important to stretch the areas that we rolled. Get that improved range of motion. And then we're going to sit up tall, reach the arms as they're interlaced overhead, and gently pull to your left. So from here, we're going to move into quads. Like I said, we're going a little backwards. Today we did the upper body. We're going to do quads and calf and glute in a different way today. And then back to center, and then lower the arms all the way back down. So we did left, we did right. Nice stretch. So for the quads, you're going to be utilizing just a small portion of your roller. So if you have a shorter roller than this is fine. You can use either one. And you can pick a leg. I'm going to start on my right. And what I want you to do is start at the very top edge of your quad. So you're going to place the quad on it. But I'm going to bend my opposite leg and put it out on the floor. Okay, so my left knee is on the floor and my right upper quad is on that roller and I'm on my elbows. So just drop to your elbows. And then from here, your right leg is straight, the one you're rolling, and I want you to just move forward and back an inch. Forward and back, right at the top. So this is usually the area of our quads, right up here at the top that gets pretty tight and we get some knots in there. A little bit. Good. Now we're going to pause here. I want you to bend your right leg that's on the roller and start to draw circles with that right foot. If you happen to get a cramp in your hamstring, you can straighten out that leg. Try to relax your leg as much as you can, because when we tense up, that's when we get that cramp. So little mini circles and then change direction. Don't be mad at me. I know sometimes this can be a little bit sensitive. We reverse those circles. Good. Go and let the leg extend long again and do that forward and back. One more time. Little mini pushes forward and back. And then you're going to draw the elbows forward and then draw the body forward just an inch so the roller's a little higher on your thigh. And again, forward and back an inch. And then lift that right leg up and circle it around again. Big circles. The bigger the better. You're really drawing circles with that foot. So it's circling around right on top of that quad. And then change directions, reverse direction on those circles. And then let the leg go straight. And you're going to roll up again, or move the roller down your thigh. Getting closer to the knee. So the left leg is still on the floor. Roll yourself forward and back an inch. And breathe. Good. We're ready. We're going to bend the knee and we're going to circle it. Circle that whole foot. If this is too intense, just stick with the forward and back with the rolling and reverse direction. If you've had a knee replacement, this can be a little intense, but continue just to roll forward and back without the circles. Or even if you haven't and you just sit a lot, this can be intense. And then straighten out the leg and then walk yourself forward. We're getting closer to the knee. If you're already there, then that's fine. Take a break if you need it, and then forward and back. And then you're going to bend the knee and big circles. So maybe it's getting a little easier for you. Maybe you're finding you're putting a lot of pressure on the shoulders now. So you can always lay down all the way onto your chest and belly if it gets too intense for your shoulders. Here's just another option. Circle, circle, and then straighten. I got one more time, one more little inch. I'm moving forward and back. I'm right above the knee. Again, just one leg at a time. Lift that right leg and then circle it around, or left if you're on your left. And then change direction. And then use your arms to press yourself up. We're going to slide off the roller. Let's take a child's pose. Separate your knees, feet together. Bring your hands forward onto the roller and just melt into it. And feel that nice stretch over the knee, all the way up those quads. Take a deep breath in and let it out. And then come all the way up. And now we're going to do the other side. All right, so now the left. So I'm going to move my roller over. And I'm going to go to the very top of my left quad. The right knee is bent on the floor. And you're just going to move yourself forward and back 1 inch. And then when you're ready, you're going to bend the leg, the left leg, and start to draw circles. So you're on the edge of that roller. And then change direction. Anybody notice the difference from this side to the other side? Or in the top of the quad, then the lower quad? And then straighten out that leg. And then walk your elbows forward so the roller goes down that thigh a little. Try to relax it, again, especially if you get a hamstring cramp. And then forward and back again. And then we're going to bend the knee and we're going to draw circles with that whole leg. Increasing that range of motion in the knee, and then reverse direction. So think about if this is painful and every time you bend and straighten that knee and walk up and down stairs, your poor quads, what is going on there if they're that tight? And then move up a little higher and just think about if it's that tight, forward and back roll, that's pulling on that knee joint. So it's so important to keep this tissue of the quadriceps loose and limber and flexible. And then we're going to bend the knee and we're going to circle that foot around. Good. And you can always have a pillow underneath you on your leaning on it if you need to, if your shoulders are getting tired. And then we're going to straighten the leg, move that forward a little more, or that roller down the leg, forward and back. So you always want to prep it. That's why we do the forward and back before we circle the leg, just to let the leg know we're going to work on that tissue, and then bend the knee and circle that foot around. And then reverse direction. Good. And last one. Move your body up a little further. Whoops, forward and back first. And then bend the knee and circle that leg. And then change direction. And then when we're done, we're going to lift ourselves up, slide on back. Let's go to our child's pose. Separate the knees, feet together, bring that roller back out in front, and just melt into it And let's just relax here. Feel the stretch over the left knee, up the quad, and then come all the way up. All right, so how are those quads feeling? Okay, we've got one more we're going to do just to really get the quads nice and flexible. So we're going to go all the way back to an elbow plank, the roller right above the knees. I want you to bring your hands flat on the floor and really engage that core. And then gently press your body backwards so the roller slides up the thighs, and then pull your body forwards. Very slowly. This is a slow move. Walk your elbows backwards a little so you can get a little higher up onto those quads as you slide yourself back. If it bothers your shoulders, then walk your arms with your movement. And then roll backwards. So it's a very slow, controlled. And then forward. We got one more to go. And this time we're going to roll back. And then walk the elbows in so you can slide off the back of your roller. All right, so since we did such a deep, nice, getting into those deep massage into those quads, let's put the roller on the side and then lower to our bellies and bring a hand under. So we really want to stretch those areas. So from here, I want you to turn onto your left side and then bring your right foot up and behind and grab hold of the ankle, and then bring the foot behind you if you can on the floor, the ball of the foot, and then you're pushing your hip forward as you hold the ankle. If you cannot hold your ankle, reach it, that's okay. Let your arm rest in your on the floor, and your head in your arm. And then just breathe. Really feel that stretch. So you're stretching to the hip flexor, the quad. Try to now move through the ankle, point and flex on that foot. As you push the hip forward and then flex the foot, feel the change. And all we're doing here is changing the ankle angle. Moving. Kind of like you're pushing a gas pedal with that foot up and down. And then we're going to release, roll back onto the belly, and we're going to do the other side. So just bring your arm onto the floor, roll onto your right side. You're going to bring your left foot up behind you and place that foot. So you're going onto the ball of the foot, and then you're just going to push that hip forward. And again, if you can't hold or reach the ankle, that's okay. You can always use a strap. You can use a belt, a blanket, or a towel, or a little blanket. So your right leg is straight, your left knee is bent, and now start to pump that left foot. Flex and point, flex and point. And notice the difference in the quad, the knee. If it bothers your knee, then obviously you want to avoid the movement that bothers your knee. Couple more pumps of that ankle. Notice what goes on in the knee. Good, last one. And release the ankle, roll back onto your belly. And then let's take another child's pose. Step back, open the knees, feet together. Stretch out your low back here. Really give a good shift side to side. The belly is between the thighs, you're breathing. And then we're going to come all the way up, and we're moving on. So now you're going to bring your roller at an angle, and you're going to sit on your bottom. All right, so that roller's at an angle. So the side, so my roller's at an angle, and so my left, it's closer, the top of the roller is closer to my left hip. So I'm putting my left foot on the floor, not on the floor, on the roller. And then I'm going to take my right leg on top. And you're just going to tilt your whole body to your left. And then I want you to do a very small little bend and straighten of your left knee, because your left calf and the outside edge is on that top of that roller. So the calf about right in the middle of the calf is where you have the roller. And then just do a little bend and straighten. And that left foot is turned to the left side. I'm going to have you either drop to your elbows or lay all the way onto your back so you can add a little more pressure, and then start to rotate through the ankle. Good. Then from here, you're going to roll all the way down to your back if you're not there. Turn onto your left hip, and you're going to bring your right foot over the top and just hug it in, and then just do a bend and straighten with that whole left leg on top of the roller. So if that's simple, you can let go of your right leg, and you can bring both legs on top of the roller together. So one is stacked on top of the other, and you're on your side. I want you to pause right in the middle of the side of that calf and start to rotate your left ankle. Just rotate, and then rotate the opposite way. Good. And then move a little bit higher. So your body's moving down, but the roller's moving higher onto your calf. And again, same thing, rotate the ankle. So you're getting more of the outside edge of it. And the pressure depends on what feels comfortable to you. Maybe it's better for you not to have the foot on, and that's plenty. Maybe you want the pressure of the leg on top. Good. And then roll back onto your back. And so now the left foot is straight up and down, and the middle of your calf is on that roller. And we're going to rotate the ankle. Rotate, rotate, and then change direction. And then start to tilt your whole body to the right, onto your right hip and the right side of the upper calf, and just rotate the ankle. And then change direction. So you might find some spots if you need to move that roller higher or lower, please feel free. But we're focused on the upper part of that calf right now, on the inner side of it, on the inner side of the left leg. And then we're going to hug the right knee into the chest and sit ourselves all the way up. Cross that right leg underneath, and then just stretch out that left leg towards the bottom part of that roller, and then rotate the ankle. And then change direction. And then flex the foot, see if you can reach for your toes. You can bend or straighten that knee to what feels good to you. Maybe hold the ankle and do some rotations. And notice if you're feeling that all the way up into the hip. And then we're going to switch. So now you're going to turn that roller the opposite way. So now you're going to place, now it's up higher towards my right side, so I'm placing my calf right in the middle of that roller. I'm going to shift onto my right hip a little. And again, you can be on your hands, you can be sitting up to start with, and you're going to just do a bend and straighten. So again, letting the tissue know what you're doing. We're going to circle around that ankle. And bend and straighten. And then drop to the elbows or all the way onto your back. And then you're going to slightly turn onto your right hip. You can bring that left foot here. You can hold it in. You can cross it. So I'm just giving options here. I want you to start to rotate your right ankle. And let the leg, again, they can be crossed. It might be too much, or you leave the foot on the floor behind you. Reverse direction. And then you're going to turn towards your back again. Do a little gentle bend and straighten, circle it around. Change direction. Notice what's going on and then turn it to the other side towards the left. And adjust that roller if you need to. We're going from an angle. We started at the top outer side of the right calf to the middle, a little bit lower, and to the left, even lower than that. And then turning back onto our backs. And then hug the left knee into the chest. And then roll yourself up. Cross that left leg underneath. Bring your right leg, slide it down the roller to your left so it's at the end. Holding on to it, a little bend and straighten, some rotation of the ankle. So we got way up in there into the meaty part of the calf, the gastroc. Now you're going to bring the roller straight across the bottom of your mat. Bring both legs wide onto your roller. So the right legs towards the right edge, left legs towards the left. Leaning back onto it, and then I want you to rotate both the legs to the open and close, rotating all the way. Now you can push yourself off the floor with your hands, or you can go onto your elbows and try to lift your hips, pushing into the roller. Again, it's up to you how much weight you put into that roller. So I want you to keep both legs turned open and circle the ankles. So really, really getting into the bottom outside edge of that, of the foot there, of the leg, not the foot, excuse me, the leg. Move your body a little closer to the roller, keep the legs open and circle those ankles. So you moved up the outside just a little. Good. Move up a little closer to that roller. Continue keeping the legs open and rotate the ankles, both directions. One more time, a little bit higher, and now we're back to where we started. So we're going to rotate those toes in and the legs in. Slide your body backwards away from the roller. Keep the legs turned in and rotate those ankles. Notice if one leg can move in easier than the other. And then move backwards, rotate the ankle. We're almost there. We got glutes next, and then we're done. Almost there. And then all the way down towards the bottom part of the leg and rotate those feet. So it's great to keep the ankle flexibility up. And then release. Fantastic. So right before we go to the glutes, we need to stretch out the calf muscles. So we're going to go on to all fours, and you have options here. You can press one foot into the floor, or you can lift your hips up, and you can walk your dog, or just really just press into one foot and then the other. Again, like I said, or just do one at a time in tabletop with your knees and hands on the floor. Either of those work to stretch out the areas. Make sure you move your hips as you shift into the feet. You can place both toes down and draw your hips side to side, or you can be on your knees and do one leg and draw the hips side to side. So a couple options to really get into that, the flexibility there of those calf muscles and ankles. Very, very good for them. Now you're going to, last but not least, our glutes. So the one area we usually start with, we're ending with. So you're going to pop up onto your left glute. Right is fine. We're going to do both. Left hand, I'm just demonstrating left side, left hand on the floor. Both feet flat, knees bent. So the feet are going to help guide us. We're going to be drawing circles around the glutes. So you're going to lean your body towards the roller, roll up to the top of that left butt cheek, lean backwards so your back is going towards the roller, and then push your body and your feet so you roll to the bottom of the butt. Lean forward. So basically just draw a circle with the way you lean on your glute. So you're circling around that whole glute. Like up the outside, down the inside, all the way to the sits bones, all the way to the top of the glute. Using those legs. One more circle, and then we change direction. Good, and then the opposite way. Up the middle, and then down the outside. Can you tell a difference? Might be a little more challenging circling the opposite way. One more. Good, now you're staying on the left side. Let's take our left ankle over the right thigh. Find the very middle of the glute and then try to draw a little circle using your knee and your upper body. So you're just drawing a circle right there in the middle of the meaty part of the glute. One more time and then change direction. And then we're going to release that left leg. Go ahead and slide in front of the roller. Let's give it a quick stretch. Straighten the right leg. Hug the left knee. Now we need to make sure we do both sides. And again, stretching it out. Lift nice and tall. Hug that knee in. How's that left shoulder feeling? Maybe give some big arm circles with it. You can also hold the arm, the back of the elbow, and just pull down on that left arm and sit tall, tuck your chin. So you're kind of doing a double stretch here, holding on to the elbows. Last breath with this stretch and release. Let's go to the other side. All right, last but not least, the right glute. So you're going to sit up on that foam roller, feet flat, knees bent, right hand behind you. So tilt your whole body to the right side towards the roller. Move up the side of that glute, tilt backwards as you roll down. Good, and then again, circle it around, and then up, circle around, and then up. It's a different way to roll those glutes than the typical way. The body always wants to have a little bit of change. This helps keep our range of motion up and our mobility in our hips and our back. Good, one more circle, and then we'll change direction. Good, and then switch direction, go the opposite way. Circling it around. Circle, circle. How's that feel? Good? Different compared to the other side, right? One more, and then we still get to cross that leg and get a little deeper. So let's cross the right leg, find the middle of that glute, and then start to draw circles. A little bit different on this side. Use the knee, get some full range of motion in there, pivoting around on top of that roller. You might say hello to some areas that are a little tender, and then reverse direction. It's always fun. Almost there. Good. Last one. And then we slide off the front of that roller, straighten out the left leg. Let's hug that right knee in. Give it a squeeze. Sit nice and tall. Good. Maybe grab hold of that right elbow. You can even hold on to both elbows. Sit tall, tuck your chin, hug that knee. Stretch the shoulders and the neck. Feel the belly pressing into the thigh, flexing that left foot. So I snuck in some different ways to foam roll on you today. Hopefully you enjoyed that all. Feel a little bit looser. Your brain, you can think a little clearer because you got more mobility in the neck. Go ahead and release those arms and legs. Sit up nice and tall. Find that posture, feel how everything is. Line up the shoulders over the hips and then jump up to the ears over the shoulders. Relax your hands on the thighs. Thank you so much for joining me today. Take a deep breath in, reach the arms overhead. Exhale, palms to heart space. Namaste.